And that's it. That's it,
We're
gentlemen.
live. We're back.
There's no way back. There's no way back.
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
Yeah, hi. Welcome everybody. Welcome to Table for
Welcome, welcome,
7 billion. It's a very
and
large
growing,
table.
and
Yeah.
growing. We might have to change next year.
Yeah, well, we may need a bigger space.
Yeah, a bigger Earth, right?
Yeah. Um so I saw an interesting ad the other day on my phone, and it was for a pill, and this woman claims to have lost 60 pounds in 15 days or 10 days or something. And I thought that was interesting. So apparently, this pill makes one of your limbs fall off or something. I'm not sure how that works
What?
exactly,
Yeah, I've seen
but it
that.
was it was unbelievable. It was 60 pounds in like 15 days. That's half a month to lose 60
Wow.
pounds. So if it's even possible, that can't be good for you.
Right.
And
I don't know.
this
I don't know what that is. I don't.
I
I don't
keep
even know what that
seeing
is.
ads for this pill. It's this pill you take one at night, and it does something to you. And the problem with all this stuff is that maybe it works, maybe you lose a ton of weight, I don't know, but
But,
it doesn't change your habits at all, so you just go right back to doing what
right,
you.
right, right. So what?
And
What is in there? You know?
I don't know, it's probably some kind of diuretic or something that just
I mean, that
flushes
has
your
to be more
body
than
out.
that. It has to be.
It can't be good. But the funniest thing about the ad was they've apparently it's a product that appeared on Shark Tank. Have you ever heard of that show? It's a show on TV where there's this panel of entrepreneurs, and these people come on with ideas for products, and then the panel listens to them, and then they decide which one is good and which one is a bad idea,
Right.
and then and sometimes they back the idea. I guess if you win the show, you get
That's great.
backing to launch your product. And
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've never watched the show, but
Which show is that?
it's called the Shark Tank.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. The Shark Tank. I know that.
And I've seen pictures of the hosts. They're
Right.
all like super successful business people. They're all very wealthy.
Yeah,
They
yeah, yeah.
One of them is Mark Cuban, who owns the Dallas Mavericks. I mean, they're people like that. So the funny thing about this ad, and I keep seeing it, is that it says that the product has been approved by experts, and the expert they show is the one of the entrepreneurs on the show. It's this blonde woman she's a very successful, probably very smart businesswoman, but she's not a doctor, she's not a scientist.
Wow.
But they show her as having approved this drug,
Wow.
and I thought, oh, that
That's
okay,
true.
yeah. Well, if some business person says it's good, then I guess I'll take it.
I'm telling you,
Um,
man. In health, no, everything counts.
yeah,
It doesn't matter. Like you sell shit, it sells. Good food, no. Good food
and
is
it's
not accepted.
exactly what
That's the
people
thing
are
that's
looking
weird.
for. They
It's like
want,
this is what I'm fighting now. The
yeah,
more the food is, the closest to nature, the less people want it. Like now, everybody's against meat, and 100%. They want to shut that down, and they want to propose all this fake food, right? Now, what people forget is all these doctors, all these people that were promoting smoking, cigarettes, low fat, eat sugar, all this stuff, and now they're changing the diet, and they're always proposing something instead of just being eat whatever nature is intended to eat. That's all. Don't change that. Don't try to make food that is going to be all synthetic, all fake. No, stop with that. This is
right,
crazy. Oh my god.
yeah.
And
Well,
then people are getting bigger and bigger, and now it's okay to be huge. No, it's not okay. It's you're sick.
and it's what people have always wanted, to be able to live
Right.
exactly the way they want, eat whatever they want, and then take a pill once a day that just makes it all go
Yeah, but that
away.
doesn't work like this. So unfortunately, and no, and then we have
Yeah,
to deal with it. And then
yeah.
the health costs, the healthcare costs go up to the roof because people are getting sicker and sicker, and nobody cares and whatever.
The other kind of ad I like is when they show a guy who's really fat, got big belly. And then they show the after picture, and by just taking this pill,
Right.
he's lost all this weight. Well, the after picture, he's just ripped. I mean, he's just got
Wow.
washboard abs and big muscles. And I'm like, well, he may have lost the weight with this pill, but he didn't get those washboard abs that way. I mean, that comes
I
from
know,
going to the
right?
gym a couple hours a day, and
Oh
it's
man.
very funny. But people
Yeah,
will
people
believe
are a little bit.
anything.
People are confused. Huh? Tell you. Uh, the more you come back to simplicity, eating good vegetables, good meat, good butter, good eggs. That's it. That's all you need. You need to, lower on the carbs for sure. Eat really good stuff, and that's all. That's all you have to do. There's no secret. There's no secret. There's no. That's the thing. It's like it's so simple. How do you not understand? It is so crazy.
Yeah.
We
And
we
the problem with really fresh food, like if you go to the farmer's market or a really good market,
yeah.
you have to cook. You have to prepare it.
Remember
It's
that,
not
huh?
ready for you. It's not. You can't just go home, open the box, and eat.
No.
Which is fine to do once in a while, you
Yeah,
know.
but
But
not if you want to be healthy and you want to stop. Like if you want to stop being sick, you need to eat good food
but
and exercise.
even when occasionally when we get food to go and we bring it home to eat, we still go to some place that makes really good food. Like we go to Tacubaya or Picante or something that, they use really good ingredients. They know what they're doing. But we don't do it every day. It's like once in a while we'll be out and we'll just don't feel like going home and starting to cook, so we'll just buy something to take home, but it's still really good.
You cannot be. That's the thing. You can do a lot of things sporadically, James. You can.
Sure.
Lisa has a good way to explain that. She says 80% good stuff and 20% whatever you want. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a really good rule, and it works. You can do whatever you want with your body. The body can take a lot, but there's a point where he stops taking, and then he's gonna get sick for sure.
Right.
And the thing is, the more you deviate from real food, the sicker you're gonna get. That is for sure. I don't care what people tell you, how they bring those scientists that have no clue how to integrate their eyes in the microscope. I'm serious. I talk to them. They have no idea the connectivity between the earth, the ground, the insect, the animal, all this stuff. They are completely oblivious to that. The all they look is they think this is good protein and they're gonna give it to you for food. And then in 10, 20 years we're gonna realize that was another mistake done again. Just go back to real food, please, guys. Stop
Right.
looking at the internet. Stop listening to people. Just eat whatever your grandparents were eating. This is what they were. Most of the grandparents, of course. Some people were
My
very.
grandparents were cannibals, so that's a problem. But
that's your that that's a problem for your close surrounding, but otherwise, right?
well, Lisa's absolutely right, and that's why I've cut back to only doing heroin once a week.
Yeah.
Um,
You don't eat only the 20%, huh? Right?
yeah,
Anyway, you guys, if anybody is listening, back to real food. All of
yeah,
us. This is super important. We're gonna kill the whole earth. Everybody's gonna be super sick. We are more and more and more sick people everywhere
that's
in the
right.
world.
That's
What
right.
what is how can you realize that fake food is not working and all the crazy stuff, this crazy diet is not working? What makes all this vegan and all this stuff? Oh my god, this is really a problem for me.
So we said that Olive was going to do a pastry dough today,
Yes.
but Olive is not in his studio,
No.
despite what his background suggests.
Oh
It's
man.
fake. Is that
No, I
fake?
could not.
Wait, is that fake food behind you?
It's a fake kitchen, that's for sure. It's a
Whereas
fake made
my
kitchen.
background is totally real. See this olive tree here? This is totally real.
What about my
This
head?
was this was given to me by an olive oil producing company in Tunisia when I visited.
Wow.
They gave everyone one. It's all made out of metal and it's this little sculpture of an olive
I thought
tree.
that
It's
was
very
made by
cool.
Julius Caesar.
Yeah, this goes on the head like
Right.
this. Yeah. Very
Wow.
cool. Very cool.
Very nice.
Uh
I'm proud
what's
of you, man.
what's really cool is that I managed to get it back to the United States without it being a mangled
Crazy,
ball
huh?
of.
I know, right?
Yeah, that was a miracle in itself. So, so instead of doing a pie dough demonstration, which maybe we can do next week if
Next week,
Olive's.
there's 1 week, James, I'm not here. I just realized it's gonna be, and I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Oh, so then it's going to be all about me.
Wow, we don't have. No, I think we should take a because I have to tell. I'm taking some vacation. I know it seems incredible, but I am taking vacation
I've heard of
from
those.
July 1st to the 10th. I'm taking my boy to, and then I'm gonna miss one Monday, which is Monday 4th.
Okay. Well, that's the 4th of July. We should be off anyway.
Oh, right.
We should be off being
That's so
independent.
funny. Yes.
So there you go.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah. Are you going
So
to be
other than that, yeah.
some
So
you going to be
what?
somewhere where you can celebrate the 4th of July or?
So what should we do instead of the pie dough?
Well,
Ah,
today I have some of our questions from former students who are now all dead, so they're not going to care what the answers are, but somebody might care. And this one, the first question actually has to do with what we were just talking about, and it's an interesting question because it says it asks, "Is fresh food always better than canned? What about frozen?" So yeah, the short answer is, well, yes, of course, fresh food should always be the first choice. Um,
but frozen
but
is not bad either, though, huh?
but sometimes it's not possible. I mean,
Yeah.
you might be somewhere where you just don't have access to fresh food, or maybe it's
And,
January in Montana, and you don't have fresh
oh,
salad
right.
greens. And so in that case, frozen. There's a lot of frozen stuff that's good. There's a ton now of organic frozen food. I love frozen peas. They're great, especially if you're going to put them in a soup or a stew or something. They're
But I
fine.
think frozen peas is. I think there's not much choice because they lose their nutrients really quickly, right, when they're fresh. And
Yeah, probably.
so frozen is really good for a lot
But
of
when they're
reasons.
yeah, when it's done properly, the vegetables are just frozen immediately and they're flash frozen, so it happens really quickly. So it actually you're right, it preserves a lot more of the nutrients that you
I think
might
so.
get.
And a lot of ways, and the berries when they are all out of season, that would be a great way to get berries because they are full of nutrients and vitamins.
Right.
And they've
Right.
noticed that some frozen food has more vitamins in some aspects. So
Yeah, I
frozen
mean
is pretty good.
and the longer it's going to be before you eat it, the more
Right.
important frozen food becomes because
Right.
it sort of stays in this
Yeah.
suspended
So
state
crazy.
until you need it. And it's nice. It's nice to have frozen stuff around because you just never know, and
Right.
you can throw
It
something
doesn't cook
together
the
very
same,
quickly.
right? It's not as easy, but whatever.
Yeah, and I think especially like I said, if you're doing it in a soup or a stew or something, it's fine. It's fine. I like it
Oh, for soups?
much.
No, for soups, yeah.
I like frozen food a lot better than canned food.
Yes.
Although canned food is nice to have around for emergencies. I mean, they
Yeah.
talk about having plenty of canned food. And there are some canned foods that are very good, like canned beans are fine.
Tomatoes,
Tomatoes,
anchovies,
yeah, anchovies,
sardines, those are really good.
any kind of
Mackerels,
seafood,
that's really good.
um, uh, even some fruit, although fruit is usually put up in syrup, so there's a lot of sugar involved,
Yeah.
but it can be a treat once in a while. When I was a kid, we used to have canned peaches and canned pears. They were
Yeah, no.
wonderful. Now, I wouldn't want to eat them all the time,
Yeah,
but
right.
it's like a treat. It's like dessert.
Yeah, I just, I saw this whole thing, because Lisa and I, we work with people with cancer. So we have a special relationship with sugar, which is not a good relationship. And when people keep saying it's a treat, sugar is a treat, I am not, I completely understand it's fun and it feels good and stuff, but I don't, I'm not sure that's true. Anyway, it's a personal thing, man. It's not A lot of people eat sugar and they're fine. Um, for me, it's a trouble. It's a problem.
I
Anyway,
I have
but
a
but
bit.
you're right, James. It's a treat. It's a treat in the fact that you don't eat them all the time.
Right.
That's a treat. That's true. I don't. I'm a little bit in a defensive on that because the world of food is trying to feed people so much terrible food, so much shit. It's so terrible. I'm really aware of like all the stuff that they put in the food, right? So
Right.
I'm always very worried about any fake food, anything that comes in the package. To me, is very dangerous. So I would stick to the fresh food, like you said, fresh food, and of course once in a while you can get those candies, and candies should be eaten around 4 o'clock p.m. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, that's a great
right
time
in
to
the
eat dessert.
afternoon, so you don't, we don't have this rush. And for the kids, especially, it's especially true. 4 p.m. is a great time for kids to eat candies because they have time to leach out the crazy
Right.
stuff, maybe go. Except that no people don't go out anymore. But for the kids that still go out like we used to, I
Yeah.
mean, we used to go out. I used to come home from my school, dump my cartable, my bag at like 4:30 or something, and I was gone until 8. My parents had no
Yeah.
clue where I was.
Yeah. Me too.
No
Me
clue
too.
where I was. They had no idea where we were,
We
all of
were
us.
we were required to be home for dinner,
Yeah,
and other than that,
yeah,
we were, you know,
yep,
and on school nights they were a little more strict because they didn't want us out too late and they wanted us to make sure we got our homework done. But in the summertime, oh my God,
yeah.
we would disappear in the morning and we would come home at dinner
Oh
time
my
and
God,
then
yeah,
we'd be gone again and because it'd be light till 9 o'clock. And they had no idea where we were most of the
no.
time. We'd be out in the
But there was
woods,
no
we'd
phone,
be running around. We had no phones. We had no
no phone, no tracking device, none of that.
nope.
We were like on our own, doing our thing, being kids outside, bicycle, fixing
And we were
stuff.
usually with other kids,
Yeah,
so
right.
that kind of made it safer. I mean, we weren't just wandering
Whatever.
around by ourselves. We were with
Yeah.
our friends. I was often with my brother,
Oh yeah,
and we would be out doing stuff. So if one of us got hurt,
yeah.
the others would be there, and but we never. It was great, and you just didn't think about trouble, being abducted or something, and
Yeah, I mean, it does exist, that's for sure. But I mean, you can't live in fear your whole life. It's
and
like
also we
crazy.
didn't we would be gone all day and we didn't really eat. We would come home if we got hungry. We would come home and we'd have some food, and
You
then we'd be out
scavenge
again.
the refrigerator, man. Right?
So we
You go
didn't.
in there and you kill everything that's in there.
I mean, we'd sometimes eat while we were out because we'd find stuff to eat. We'd
Right.
go someplace and we'd pick fruit off trees and we'd raid somebody's garden. And I used to love to eat the carrots right out of the garden, and it
Yeah.
was probably terrible because they were covered in dirt, but it was really good dirt
Why is it? Yeah, it can. That can be
because
bad.
they weren't using pesticides or anything. But
Plus, there's that nutrient. There's a bunch of stuff in it. I mean, you can just wipe it out, right?
and we were all skinny. We all just because we did nothing but ride our bikes and run around and climb trees and throw
Yeah.
balls, and we'd go for hours without eating because we just didn't even think about it. We were having too much fun, and
Yeah, but that's not good. But yes, I completely agree. That's exactly what kids were doing.
yeah, we'd usually have a big breakfast, and we'd go out all day, and we'd
Yeah,
come home
exactly.
when we were hungry enough, and it's
I
very
know,
funny.
right?
Yeah,
That's a good time. I mean, I'm trying to with my older son lived like that, so he's fine. But my younger boy, he's always outside, man. I take him outside all the time. I
yeah,
need him to do that.
yeah. A
So the
lot of kids.
computer is very limited, and he's outside. We're playing soccer, we're playing basketball. We're doing taekwondo. I mean, aikido together. We're doing super long walks in the forest. We go crazy, super long walk, really fast.
Nice.
It has to every day. So if I can't do that every day, I do it, every other day. But that has to happen all the time.
Well,
Super
the other
important. I can't
thing,
put it.
and I know I'm dating us, but when we were kids, the amount of time we spent in front of a screen was very limited because
There was none
there was nothing to
at night.
watch during the day.
At night only. Yeah,
Yeah, if you were home sick, uh,
yeah,
during the day, it was
Which was
so
cool.
boring because there was nothing to watch, and it was all soap operas and game shows, neither of which are very interesting. I mean, today, if you're homesick, you can find all.
Oh my god.
There's a universe out there to
Yeah.
watch. But when we were kids, and so
It's
we
too
didn't
much.
watch
It's too
TV
much.
during the day. We didn't have video games. We didn't do any of that stuff. And I think kids
Yeah.
spend a lot. Some kids spend way too much time in front of screens. Some people,
Kids, adult,
adults too. Yeah.
everybody. And it's the thing is we're losing that connection between us, the ground, the food, our friends, our family. We're completely separated. We live super lonely, super alone.
Yeah.
People are getting more and more sick. Nobody realizes how dangerous we're getting. I mean, I don't want to sound too pessimistic today, but it's like I can see the curves of the cardiovascular disease, cancer, all this stuff. Everything is going up and up and up. We don't connect with our friends. We don't connect with our family. We have no idea how the food is grown. We don't know where the food comes from. It's crazy. I mean, it's like we're going to need to do something. Like we're going to need to reverse, right? We're going to need to reverse something in order for us to be like humans again. I mean, look at those things. We look like aliens on Instagram and all this TikTok thing.
I
People look
know.
like aliens now. They're completely anti-human.
Well, and I used to go to the fancy food show twice a year. Plus, I would go to trade shows in Europe every year. And one of the biggest categories of food and one of the fastest growing categories of food was snack food. So
What is that?
it was, you know, chips and popcorn and cookies and brownies and all this stuff that is sold under the umbrella name of just snacks.
Oh yeah,
Because
right.
Americans love to snack. And it's an unbelievable amount of stuff. And all these companies just come up with all this really crazy stuff. And some of it is made from somewhat healthy ingredients. So,
Like what?
well, like it'll be made from vegetables or fruit or
Oh,
something, but
okay,
then
that's
it's coated with sugar and
that's yeah.
and they market it like, oh, this is a really healthy snack because
But
it's made from
we so
broccoli.
the thing is, it's not me or you, but there's gonna be some type of group or power that needs to instruct people that they're being fed some really terrible food, and some people needs to be. I mean, we need to
Yeah, but
stop
who?
that. How do we get to that? It's like we can't go on like that. What's gonna
Well,
happen to our kids and our grandkids? I mean, what's gonna happen to that?
right.
Where
Well,
do we stop?
and the problem is there's heavy marketing behind a lot of this stuff because
Lots
that's
of
where the
money, man.
money is. So that nobody's willing to put up money to tell people to eat fresh vegetables
Yeah.
because there's no there's no fresh vegetable contingent that
Or
will.
good eggs, or good cheese, or good
Yeah,
quality cheese, or good meat.
yeah.
Also, don't forget the meat, man.
Right. I mean,
Or
yeah.
fish. I'm sorry.
And the trouble with sugar, I mean, I do have a sweet tooth. I like a sweet now and then, but the trouble with sugar is they put it in everything now.
Ah, yeah.
There are people that just believe that if you make things sweeter, people will like them more and eat them
And
more,
they do.
which is true. And so they put it in even unlikely stuff that's not supposed to be sweet, but it'll have sugar
Doesn't
in it
matter. Because
because it
no,
just gives it a little
James,
extra. They
what's
put it in
happening now
cigarettes,
is
for God's sakes.
what's happening now is the food has less flavor in general because there's no
Right.
nutrients. So now they have to reinforce all these vegetables, pieces of whatever with sodium and sugar and all kind of weird stuff because there's no more flavor. So that's why it's very important to buy it from the farmers market because even though they're not fantastic, they're still better than anything you can find because we're
Right.
losing nutrients, lots of nutrients. And what's happened is we've overproduced vegetables for vegans, not just for vegans, but we overproduce vegetables out of seasons. So now the soil is completely depleted from any animal, no insect, no bird, nothing. We are killing a huge amount of animals doing that. And the vegetables have no flavor because they are grown
Right.
out of the season. They have no flavor, they have no nutrients. So now, in order to make food, you have to add way more stuff to that, right?
Right.
And I know I'm rambling, and it's I'm sorry,
No,
guys.
no.
Today I'm a little bit upset about all this stuff because I keep seeing those people being sick and nobody cares. So nobody cares, literally. So I'm just, yeah. Anyway, let's talk about something pleasant now for change.
Well, here's another question from one of your old students. What advice do you have for someone who doesn't like cooking to help them learn to enjoy it? I
I
think we've
mean,
talked
the
about
thing
this.
is, I think we should, and I think I should do that. I should do a bunch of really easy videos on super easy cooking because there's ways. Have you seen those tray cooking? Have you seen that? That's really cool. You put veggies, a piece of chicken, or a piece of fish, a piece of whatever you want, and you bake it and it's ready in like
Right,
15, 20 minutes. Have you seen? Those are great. This is really, really good. I mean, if you want to eat, you're gonna have to cook at
right,
home. Yeah, there's no other way around. I'm sorry. It's the way it is. You need to cook your food. You need to learn or do something. This is why Kitchen Affair is so busy because people want to learn, and that's important. But if you don't know how to cook, and I completely understand the fear, maybe you can find some very easy meal that you can do over and over, change a couple of ingredients until you figure out how to do it because you're going to have to learn how to cook a little bit, some stuff, right?
right,
And I think stews are great, right? Because stews, you could put everything in a pot like soups. So a
right,
stew, the difference between a soup and a stew is basically a stew has much less liquid,
right,
right? So you can do that. You can shove a bunch of stuff in the pot, put a little liquid or brown it first, then put your liquid, cook it until everything is done. What, 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it is, what's in there. Add your protein, right? And it's done.
right,
And then you have a meal.
right. And you can use the pots we were talking about last week, the Le Creuset pot. Get
Oh,
yourself
yeah.
a nice like 8-quart Le Creuset pot. They're fabulous for making stews. You don't even need an oven. You do them all right on top of the
Right.
stove. Brown your meats. You cook some onions and stuff, and do whatever. And I think the secret is to learn a few recipes that are simple that you can do successfully. I think when you start having success, it becomes more fun. Um, it's like anything. I mean, if you start playing tennis tomorrow, you're going to suck for the first few times you do it. You're going to be hitting the ball into the net. You're going to be hitting the ball over the fence, and it's
And
just not
that's
fun.
and that's
But
the reason I
once,
was not going to start playing tennis tomorrow. I was going to start playing tennis today.
but
So by tomorrow,
if somebody gives you a couple lessons and shows you how to hit the ball
yes,
more accurately, and suddenly you're hitting the ball and it's going over the net and hitting in the
yeah,
right place, suddenly it's a lot more
it feels
fun
good, and it feels good.
and it feels good. And I
It's really
think
good.
when you have some success at something, whether
Yep.
it's playing golf or
James, I have an
cooking a
emergency.
chicken.
I need to go back to get another drink. I need one more.
Uh-oh,
Don't go away.
emergency.
This is very important.
So we have another question here that I think is uh, I think it's a good question. What is one trait that would help a person become a better cook? Uh, my answer to that would be just, patience.
I'm back, and I'm getting
Ooh, that
this
was
one.
crazy. You just like appeared in the screen.
This is my time and licorice.
Good. We all need a little extra time. So I was just reading that the question was, what is one trait that would help a person become a better cook? And I said, patience would be right up there, number one. Just be patient. I would say developing a sense of
Patience,
taste.
patience will come to people who wait. Don't you know that? Eventually, right?
I, c- I can't wait. I want to be patient now. I can't wait.
I can't wait.
Damn it.
I want to be patient now. It's like the oh my god, that was this joke. This lemur, he was on a tree and he's waiting to be. He's the quote is like, "Come on, inner peace. I don't have all day." He's like this. "Come on, inner peace. I don't have all day."
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah.
Everything quick, 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 right away. No effort, right? I tell you, man, comfort is the worst enemy.
Yep. So we've got more questions here. Should I read another question?
Yeah, I like
These
those.
are all from students that were exiting Kitchen on Fire. Is it
What did you
really
say?
necessary?
What did you say? They're all from angry students.
Yeah, these are all
When
disgruntled students that filed lawsuits against Kitchen on Fire. Is it really necessary to devein shrimp? It's a good question. It's
um,
not. You're not going to die if you don't, but
not right away.
it's.
No, not right away. Yeah.
But I think you should. It's not very appetizing when a shrimp comes.
I never cared for it. I mean, if I'm in a class or if I make food for someone, I'll do it because
Yeah,
where they want.
and some shrimp don't really need it. I mean, they look fine, and
Well, the
some
thing
do.
is, shrimps they usually, from what I learned, most shrimps are not great to eat. First of all, yeah,
They're kind of
terrible for the environment. The
yeah,
white shrimps are terrible for the environment, and most of the shrimps are farmed, right?
right.
And what they do, and this is something I've read, is they stop feeding them a couple of days before, or 1 day or 2 days before they put them out. So the
Why?
digestive tract is empty. That's what I
Oh,
think.
I see. Oh, I see. So they
I
don't
have
have to be
seen,
deveined.
but when I get the shrimps and I see the vein is full, so there's a cool trick that someone showed me with a little toothpick. You can just drag just like that from
Yeah.
the tail. So you can do that. I mean, a lot of people do it. I don't even open them. I eat the shell and everything. So I don't think you
Well,
can digest the shell entirely, but I like the crunch, and I don't eat the tail. The tail is too hard. But I
the
will
tail
eat
I
the
don't eat.
shell or most of the shell, maybe not the head, right?
I don't like the shell very much. I don't like the texture in my mouth, but
It's just
um,
it gives more flavor to the shrimp for sure when you cook them with it. And I don't care. I don't know if it's digestible, honestly, because it's a polysaccharide. It's a chitin, just like
yeah.
mushrooms, right? It's exactly the same thing as mushroom, except the mushrooms are much more tender. And I doubt that, but that's what it is. I think also that's glucosamine. Let me look at that.
We had shrimp the other night from Monterey Fish, and they were absolutely delicious. We bought, let me see, we had half of them as a shrimp cocktail before dinner, and then Sydney made this fabulous seafood stew with I forget all what was in it. There was salmon, shrimp. I think was it halibut or cod? I think halibut, cod, and then mussels. It was so good. So she put half the shrimp in the stew and half the shrimp we had before dinner as a shrimp cocktail, which was really
So
yummy.
that's what I thought. You see, yeah, glucosamine is made from shrimp shell.
Oh, no kidding.
No, no,
Huh.
this is yeah. So I knew that. I don't know how. Let me search to see if shrimp shell is you can eat it. I think you have to ferment it. So you have to ferment the shrimp shell, and then you get that
Well,
like
they
some.
probably use it to make shrimp sauce, right? What do they call it?
Ah,
Like fish sauce. And when you do shell the shrimp, you can use them to make a little stock too. So
yes, but I thought that. Let me see if it is not digestible.
yeah, I never eat them.
But
I
I
mean,
mean, you don't get sick from it. It's not like it's not a big deal. It's
right.
not like you're eating something bad. It's not a poison, but it's
But I
not
think you're
digestible.
right. I think as a nation we eat way too much shrimp. And the reason shrimp is so bad for the environment is because there's such a huge demand for shrimp that they
And
have to they
the
have to
wild. Did you see how they grab wild shrimps? They drag with a huge
very
metal.
quickly,
Huh?
very quickly. They're fast. You have to grab them quickly.
Yeah, right. They have to drag the ocean, with the
Yeah.
big metal, something really, really strong that destroy everything that lives on that floor for more than 100 years. It's crazy. Everything is gone. Whatever lives there is gone, just for to capture white shrimp. So the way we eat animals is terrible. I love to eat animal, like I need to eat meat. It's the way we do that at big
Right.
scale that is terrible. It's not. You see what I mean? It's like we're destroying the environment entirely. Our Earth is really suffering, uh, big time, right?
Yeah, big time. Yeah, we
Yeah.
just eat too much. I mean, and it's like that with so many
And too
things.
much.
If
Yeah, yeah,
if you like something, you need to have it 3 times a day, every day. And that's what creates this huge demand, which means the food industry is more than willing to meet that demand because
yeah.
it's big money. And they've figured out ways to raise animals in a way that
I don't know if you're gonna. So this is in French, but I can translate for you. It says,
uh
"We don't care about life on Mars. We want to get our Earth back."
yeah, yeah, that's right. That's right.
This is insane. The way we treat the Earth, the animal, the plants, everything is catastrophic.
Yeah, and the whole idea
It's,
of a plant-based diet is, you grow enough vegetables, you're doing damage to the earth too. I mean, that's not it's not sustainable.
no, plant-based is not. It's not even good for you. It's good a little bit, a small portion, but it's. I don't want to go into the subject right now, but we can.
No, me neither.
I
But someday we
actually,
will.
James, I'm going to invite a very, very, very well-known person that advocate for meat eating, and we can talk about all the things that people are questioning. The environment, the climate, the green.
Oh, that'd
She's
be
very,
great.
very famous. I'm trying to get to have her on the show. She's really awesome, and she's local.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'd love for people to hear another, a different version than just the plant-based vegan, 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 vegan. Everybody is so,
Right. Right.
it's like a drug. God,
Yeah.
understand the chemistry. When people say follow the science, well, please follow the science. Follow the science. That means the science, the real science, the chemistry, the biology, the physiology, the genetic, all this. This is science, not scientific studies that are completely biased and bought. That is not
Right.
science.
And not Dr. Oz who offers,
Actually, Doctor has some good stuff. He's a little bit out there, but I know.
he's heavily influenced by who's paying the bills though.
Well, what I'm wondering about Doctor Oz, I mean, I've listened to him like I don't know, 10 years, 8 years ago when he first started. I thought he was cool.
Well, he's changed.
I'm always wondering.
He's still clinging to myths about food, about the low fat diet and
Oh,
the
you really?
yeah, he's still that's his bailiwick.
I lost interest a long time ago when he started to recommend spinach, raw spinach as a salad. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
that's enough. That's enough for me. But what I was always wondering is, how do you promote something every day different who have the same benefits? You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
That's crazy. I mean, how do you do that? Where do you find all the stuff that are all equally good, but then tomorrow there's a new completely different product that is
Right.
also super good for your health? Like, how many are there? Like 365 days a year, right? How long is the show? Like, what, years now?
I
Not, I
used to
don't know.
get I used to get press releases as an editor of a food magazine. I got press releases every day from people, and hardly a day went by that I didn't get a report about some new study that showed that some food was really good with full of antioxidants and blah blah blah. And it's like, well, and they were all mostly, you know, I mean, I remember when the first studies came out that said, "Oh my God, chocolate might be good for you." And so everybody started eating tons of chocolate thinking, "Well, great, I finally have validation here. I can eat all the chocolate I want." What the study didn't say was that it's actually cacao is good for you. Chocolate is usually so full of sugar, especially if it's a low cacao sugar, like a milk chocolate or
Chocolate is really
something.
good. And I don't want to see another study on cocoa and chocolate or coffee or. It's
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
There's millions. I'm trying to see the number exactly. I found. I know I had this number. I study. I keep all these studies, right? Because when I talk to, if I have to explain to, especially a doctor, why I'm thinking that salt is good for you and fat is good for you, I need to have some type of relevance. And I'm going to study. I'm going to take the scientific study that exists, but I'm also going to take the actual breakdown, the physiology and the chemistry, the biochemistry, and I'm going to show them why this study is not working compared to the biology or physiology that is not working.
Right.
Why is that, right? So this is interesting, but there's so many. I forgot the number. I think it's 250,000 studies a year, or I think it's more than that. It's crazy. Anyway, I'm looking at how many studies are being published every year. It's something.
It's
Anyway,
crazy. And it shouldn't come as a big surprise that something that grows on a tree or on a root or, on the stalk of a plant should be good for you or have nutrients. That shouldn't be a surprise. You shouldn't need millions of dollars in a study to tell you that this cacao nut might have benefits. It's silly. Of course, if you, like I said before, if you take that and you take 5% cacao and the rest is all chocolate and sugar and fillers and stuff, then you're kind of taking it out of the equation, and it's probably no longer all that good for you. But dark chocolate, it's good stuff. Coffee,
good stuff. Don't overdo it, like everything. And it's like
right?
most of the study. I can't find a number. One of the stat medical stats, whatever they say,
Uh-huh.
the last 2 years, 400,000 studies have been published.
Jeez. Think how much money that is.
Yeah,
That's a
how
lot of
much?
scientists. That's how they make their living. They get, you know, uh, subsidized by some big corporation that wants to prove that their product is good for you, and
Yeah, it's
it's
crazy.
crazy.
Anyway,
I have
it's a
another
lot.
question. I have
It's a
another
lot,
question.
and you have to send the white bees.
Save the wild
That's one.
bees.
Yeah, you mean
Yeah,
the bees?
I think he means bees, but yeah,
That's bees in
definitely.
Norwegian.
Yeah, maybe he's saying
Ole,
bye.
good to hear, man.
So one student asked, "Do you consider yourselves omnivores?" And the
Yes.
answer is the answer is no. I'll eat everything. Yeah, I'm an omnivore. I eat
Exactly.
plants. I eat meat. I eat fish. I eat fowl.
Whatever is available.
Yeah, whatever's not nailed down, I'll eat it.
Whatever is available has no label, no picture.
Yeah, eat. What is it? Eat low on the food chain. Is that what they say? So it's the more processed a food is, the more you should stay away from it.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I mean, not all processed food is bad. I mean, cheese is a processed food.
right.
Olive oil is processed to a certain degree, but
That's a good point, see,
but
James. Why don't you
but they're
explain?
still very low on the chain. I mean, it's doesn't. There's not all kinds of chemicals added, and
So that's a good point. What would you consider processed good?
well, like the difference between olive oil and we've talked about this seed oils is very different because the seed oils require a great deal of processing. You can't just crush them and eat them. I mean, you've got to add you have to go through many steps in order for it to become edible.
And they
Whereas,
oxidize
yeah,
and they become
and
dangerous.
olive oil, all you do is crush the olives and let the juice pour out, and you've got olive oil. Um, I mean, there's more to it than that in some respects because they spin it, they press it and do things, but it's still you can eat olive oil right out of the press. You can put
Right.
a piece of bread under as it's coming out of the
Oh
press
wow.
and eat it, and it's fabulous. You can't do that with nut oils. You can't do that
You
with
can do that with nut oil, like a walnut oil.
No, there's more processes involved to process that to get it to where it has to be. You know, it's still, you know, but butter, cheese, all that stuff is,
Now that takes a while, huh?
strictly speaking, is processed because you start with a raw material of milk and you have to make it in. But you're really letting nature take its course. I mean,
Yeah.
you're allowing the curds and whey to separate, or you're allowing it to ferment, or you know culture in some way. So it's still very good for you. Um, but
Like
yeah,
chocolate is a hard one, right? Chocolate has to go through many steps.
yeah, but it's still relatively simple. I mean,
Just like coffee, right? Same, huh?
yeah.
You have to be what? Roasted first.
Well, you have to roast it, and that's the biggest thing. You
Hmm.
you you dry it first, because when it comes out of the pod, it's all viscous. It's coated with like a viscous material, so you have to dry it, and then you roast it. That's pretty much it. I mean, you don't have to do much else, and then you grind it, and you make
Oh
however you
wow,
make
that's
your
it.
coffee. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. It's not that difficult. It's not very
Okay.
complicated. I mean, it's a little more complicated because you're doing it on a big scale, but really that's what it's
Right.
about. Is you harvest it, you open the pods, you separate them out, you dry them, and then you roast them, and then you grind them, and then you pour hot water on them.
Ooh, that's the best part. This is where it starts to be good.
Yeah,
Coffee,
and then
man.
and then you sit down with a good book and a cup of coffee, and you're off to the
A book about
races.
coffee.
Yeah, that's how I like to read about coffee. um how many different ways are there to cook eggs? Gosh, how much time do you have?
No, but actually, egg is a great subject, man. I'd love to talk about eggs maybe next time.
we,
Because now
we
let's
should do
compile this.
We should do a whole show on eggs, but yeah,
Give me one
there
second.
are so many
Sorry.
ways to cook egg. You
Give
just
me one second.
vanished. You just vanished from the screen.
Give me one second. I'm sorry, man. Oh,
Wow,
I'm not at my usual place.
that was pretty incredible. So you're looking at the Kitchen on Fire kitchen in Berkeley. That's the Shattuck Avenue kitchen. Um, this is the kitchen area you can see here, and then to the right it would be the doors looking out over Shattuck Avenue. To the left is an open area where the students usually congregate. Right now he's got tables set up in there for them to eat at. um, he just finished with teen camp, so that's probably what it's set up for. What the heck is on those shelves back there? Of course, I don't know when this picture was taken. This could have been taken years ago for all I know, but it's a really great kitchen. It's a wonderful place to teach. He's even got a setup there that they can do television. They had a big mirror thing, and they've done some TV shoots there where somebody stands at the stove and cooks, and it's all filmed. Where is Olive? Where is Chef Olive? This is like the Dora the Explorer. Where in the world is, oh no, where in the world is Carmen Miranda? Where in the world is Olivier Said? He's
Sorry,
vanished.
Jim. This is not my usual place. Oh, Peter.
Oh, now he just appeared
Different.
again.
Too
You're
many things
back.
going on. Too many things going on.
I was just explaining what we were looking at there in the kitchen.
Did you see those little red things? Do you know what they
On
are?
on the yeah, what is that? Are those strawberries?
Spices.
Oh, really?
I used to
That
keep
whole
them here. I moved them because whatever. I put them in a more secure place, like a. I changed them from metal to plastic. I'm not a big fan of plastic, but that's it keeps the spices much longer.
Oh, really?
It's more tight. Yeah, that was not working very well. That I lose my spices really fast with those fancy cans. And when I switch to those very strong lock plastic, the spices last much longer, much longer.
And I assume it's what is it? BPA free?
Yeah, yeah. But for the spices, it's not. I mean, it's not like we put hot stuff in there.
Right.
They are good quality plastic, yes.
And you probably don't put real acidic stuff in there
No,
either.
no.
Yeah.
So they last better. They're better. Yeah. But I'd love to talk about eggs. I love eggs. So one thing people should know about eggs is one of the protein that builds your muscle the most efficiently.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah.
Well, it's an amazing food because there are so many ways. You could eat eggs every single
Oh
day and
wow.
never get tired of them because you can fry them, boil them, poach them,
Yeah.
scramble them. You can make cakes. You can make omelets. You can make, there's just almost infinite.
Oh,
And they're a great vehicle for other flavors. So you
yeah.
can add
Right.
cheese, you can add all kinds of spices to them.
Cheese and
Uh,
mushroom omelette
yeah.
is a super nutritive food. It's like
And with
incredible.
tomato, um,
We should make a frittata next week
that's a good idea.
because frittata is good. You can eat it the whole week. It's super good for you. So many nutrients. You need to think of your protein, people. Eat good protein. You need protein, fat. That's it. That's
That's
it.
it. Um, yes,
That's what you
uh,
need to live. That
and the
those are the
older
things you need to live.
the older you get, the more important it is to get enough protein too,
Well, that's the
because
thing.
your
Once
body's
we turn, so I'm
deteriorating.
61 today, so I want to make sure my protein intake is like works very well. And past 50, you need to make sure because we can't digest our protein as much as we used to. So we need to make sure we have enough protein. And the carbs is just a carb is fun, right? I love to have a piece of bread with my cheese. I love to have vegetables. I love all kind of things with the carbs. I love that as a supplement, but I don't count that as my food base. My food base is protein and fat. That's what I need. Once those requirements are met, I can have fun with other things.
Right.
Veggies are great. They're fun. Also, veggies are great because you can do so many things with that, right? It's so much fun to work with vegetables. I love vegetables with cheese, with this, with that, whatever, tomato sauce. You can do stews, you can do amazing stuff. The flavors are incredible. You can play, the colors are beautiful. As a chef, you cannot work without vegetables, right? It's almost impossible.
Well, and the nice thing about vegetables too is that they're seasonal. So every
Yeah,
season you have a new batch of vegetables to work with.
absolutely. And you
I
do have
mean,
some protein in there a little bit, but
right. This is changing because they're doing hothouse vegetables and all that, and they're shipping vegetables from
oh,
all over
right,
the
right,
world.
right.
But if you try to eat seasonally,
Yeah.
then each season, is a different group of vegetables. And you don't eat peas 365 days a year. You can,
But
but
that's
that's not
also,
when they're
you know, there's a lot of people, a lot of studies that show that they show that if you eat too much protein, you get this and that, which you have to look into that because it's anyway.
I can't
But,
imagine I would eat too much protein. I don't eat
right. But the
that
thing
much.
is, now what's happening is you have all these fake protein.
Right.
They're not bad. They're just you can over eat protein with that, like all this pea protein, all this stuff. You can definitely eat very quickly. Um, or you can overload on protein. I'm sorry.
Right. Well, we
So that's
talked
that.
about this. We talked about this before too. It's like with nuts. Nuts are very good for you. They're a good part of your diet. They're really great fat. They taste great, and you can use them in all kinds of ways. But
They're
because
good.
it's so easy to buy nuts today that are shelled and roasted and salted and ready to eat, people eat them by the
I
handfuls,
know. You have to be
and
careful because you need to
that's
eat
too much.
it exactly. Oils are nuts are great. A small handful a day,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And they have to be raw. If you want to toast it, you toast them yourself and you salt them yourself.
that's
There's nothing wrong with salt. Just salt them yourself with a good salt. Put a bunch in there. Good, yeah.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And if you want to roast them yourself. Like you can roast them. They last good 10 days. So you
yeah.
can make
Keep
a
them
big
keep them
batch,
in an
right?
airtight container. Put them in the
Yeah, you
fridge.
can make a big batch. It lasts 10 days, 2 weeks, easy, right?
Yeah.
But once you buy them toasted, you don't know when they were toasted, and they are probably already damaged.
And if you have trouble controlling the amount of food you eat, having a small handful of nuts before dinner actually can take the edge off your appetite a little bit, and you're going to eat less.
I would go with salad at the beginning of the meal.
Salad?
That's my way, yeah, because it stops you from eating too much because it fills up your stomach already. Your stomach is kind of 1 liter. It's like it's this big. You know what I mean? It's pretty small. It's
Yeah,
not
you
much
know,
you
in
can put
Europe
on. It's like
there's a real tendency in Europe, especially in France, to serve the salad after dinner, kind of as a cleanser, and
you can do that too.
you can do that too. I'm
But
always I've done that
salad
at
is great. It's fantastic, except for spinach salad. Everything but spinach.
I
Regular is fantastic. Lettuce, romaine.
we many times we have had salad prepared and in the fridge, and we were going to serve it after dinner, and then everybody really liked the dinner so much, they ate so much, and then no one wanted salad because they were full.
Ah,
And I like having salad with my meal
yeah,
personally, but
yeah. Me too.
if
I
I'm going to
really love
have it
salad. I think salads are
on
great.
one side or the other, I'd rather have it at the beginning.
Salad is a really good way, for example, for people who wants to lose weight. For example, that's a great way. A bunch of meat in there and salad, you can go a long way, and you can get pretty in shape really quickly,
Hmm. Yeah.
very quickly in
Yeah,
about a
salad
couple
can
of
be a
weeks.
meal. You put some roast chicken on it, put some, chickpeas, you
Roast
can even
beef, whatever steak, and
roast
then you eat
beef.
a tons of really cool vegetables in there. It's so fantastic. You get so many nutrients, so much vitamins,
Yep.
good fiber, good all good stuff, man. It's really good. Yeah, salads are great. So in the salad, I like romaine salad, right?
Yeah.
Romaine salad. The name comes from the Romans because they were the one cultivating that salad. So it's from that period. Watercress is fantastic also for the chest. It's a really good way to clean your chest. It's very, very strong. Arugula is also very good. Lettuce, all the lettuce come from the word lait, which is milk. Those are all the salad that have milk in the middle. When you crack the stem,
Hmm.
the rib, you have milk coming out, like the romaine and stuff. Those are lettuce. That lait means milk.
Oh,
That's the origin.
interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting. Like lechuga.
Lechuga. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Interesting. Um, yeah, romaine lettuce, of course, is the lettuce that's used in a classic Caesar salad.
Romaine is fantastic. Has so many nutrients. It's unbelievable. I think I think like 2 cups, not much, huh, has like all your vitamin C content, tons of vitamin A. It's not the preformed vitamin A, but it's pretty good still. There's preformed vitamin A, the one you find in liver and all those good stuff. It's very, very strong. Preformed vitamin A is very useful for immune system. The
Ah,
vitamin A in vegetables is less potent. It's a different one, but you get a lot anyways. And if you get enough, it will do the job. So when you eat a romaine, there's so much in there, and you have vitamin C, and you have zinc, and you have all calcium and all this good stuff, right? So romaine is amazing stuff, right?
and it's delicious,
And
which
it's
is
really good. That with oil and vinegar. Do not eat a salad with no oil. That's stupid,
no, you can't. You get
right?
nothing. You might as well eat the menu at a restaurant when you order a dry salad. It's just
I
stupid. It's
and it's
just
it's
stupid.
not good for you because all these vitamins like A vitamin A is a water soluble vitamin. Fat soluble. So you're gonna need the fat to absorb all this, right? James,
Every
we have
once
1 more minute, 2 more minutes.
every once in a while at Cesar we have people that order their salad with the dressing on the
I
side.
know. It's
And 9 times out of 10 they eat every drop of the dressing.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's
Because
just like, well, do you just not trust us to know how to dress a
that's
salad?
yeah,
And
because sometimes you go to a place where it's swimming in dressing, which is disgusting.
yeah, I don't go to those kind of restaurants, so I
I
don't
know,
know what
but they,
people.
they obviously they do,
Yeah,
right?
I would say just go to a better restaurant. But
All
uh,
right, James, I will see you this week. I'll stop by Cesar again.
yeah, yeah, and we'll be back We'll be back Monday, the 27th. We've got some guests coming up. Peter Molnar is going to join us. He's a winemaker that we've had on the old show. Very interesting. Haven't heard back from him yet I talked to him in person, but haven't heard back from him yet as far as when he's going to be on.
Who is that?
Peter Molnar, the
Yeah, Peter
winemaker.
Molnar, yeah.
So he will be on in the next few weeks. We're going to have him. We're hoping to have Paul Bertoli on to talk about his wonderful company Fromani, making all kinds of Italian sausages and
Really
more. So
good.
that's
10 minutes plus, right?
yes. That's it for today. Thanks for joining us.
All right, thank you, James.
See you next week.
See you soon.
And
good to see everybody. I mean,
yeah.
we don't really see you, but
we can see them. We need them to believe that we can see them.
The fear system. All right. That's
yeah.
good.
Fear
Bye,
everything.